Oh, okay. You wanted the gambits? Here they are. Here they are. We have our first Yan Gambit. I know almost nothing about how to play this, but let's see what we can do. Okay. My opponent did not take here. I remember the idea, if they did, was to like play queen e2, bishop out, and castles. We did not get that. I'm very excited about this. I'm very, very excited. So, okay. Bishop g5 makes sense. Bishop f4 makes more sense to me. I feel like I'd like to go knight b5 and take advantage of the placement here. This is a funny move. Do I go check? Or do I just go here? Let's go well, check. I kind of like this. I'll go queen to b3 and offer you this d3 pawn. And maybe I'll take on b7. I'm not totally sure what's going on, but they know even less. And we've got the Gambit glasses on. So let's go. We're playing number 1 in the arena here. Maybe check made more sense to me because it was hitting e4. And if queen d7, there was knight b5 potentially, which is what I really want to try and threaten. And then even if they dealt with that, then maybe I could recapture here. This is a very interesting position. If they take d3, I would take b7, attacking the rook. d2 would checkmate if not for my bishop. So, interesting situation, but I do have the bishop. So what do you do if you're black to not lose a rook? You go, well, okay, maybe we have this. I was going to play f3 just so like I could castle and stuff and not get checkmated. But then there's bishop c8. The question is, does f3 help my opponent? More than it helps me. Take queen d5. Then if I go... Yeah, that's probably a bit of an annoying situation. So why don't I just play f3 right now so that I can castle? Whoa, hithering and tithering. Wow. Gifted 5 more tier 1 subs. Gifted a total of 31 subs. The most generous person in the whole world. Thank you so much. You're the best, sir. I really appreciate it. That's so nice. That's so nice. Wow, shout out to Trout Hollow, Royal T93, Anthony 51, A4, GT. You guys all got tier 1 subs, courtesy of my man, Hithering and Tithering. Alright. We got a game to win now. We got a game to win. Let's go check. Now, I'm happy I played this f3 move. That bishop seemed annoying, and now on e6 it seems to be doing nothing. And we've got a crazy one brewing here. So, after taking b7, and it seems like I can collect d3 as well, I will be down 0 pawns. My opponent plays knight c6. I could play c4, but queen d7 seems fine. If I go bishop takes, and then rook b8, then... Nope, no rook b8. So, how can you bother me? You can play a6, but I can go here. Other thing I can do is just castle. If I just castle, my opponent plays c4, then I can play, well, queen to b7, rook to d8, bishop to c7. Well, actually, why wouldn't this win right now? Because you would make some knight move. Okay, let's go here. c4. I'm going to play queen b7. And then if rook d8, I was going to just try and get in there with my knight. So castling seems good. Bishop takes not really how I wanted to capture, right? Rook takes is a great capture. And I got my king a little safer in the process. Rook takes is a great capture because it hits the queen and then undermines that. So here's this queen trade that I don't want. Now I'm attacking this rook. And now I've also cleared the b5 square. So c4, I mean, it guards this. So very useful move. But my opponent's still very far from castling. And obviously, I don't think they're going that way. And bishop's in the way, so I like the inclusion of this f3 move, but I'll have to check about this gambit, the legendary YANYAN Gambit at the end. So now the rook moves. It's covering c7 a little bit, more so than it would on d8. So, well, you still don't really cover c7 all that much. Keep in mind, this is a 3+2 game, so we have increment, so this will be a more legitimate chess game than some of my others. But I like the knight landing on c7. This seems good. Now they're threatening to take it. So let us maybe take this bishop with check. I still have no interest in the queen trade. This pawn is annoying me because I want to eliminate this guy and crash through. So what to do? Let's play queen to a6. Targeting this. Interesting position because they're without the, like, none of us have done a great job developing over here. But I do feel my king is safer. But a lot of it depends on what's going on with these guys. Are they going to be strong or are they going to be weak? What if I take right now? Obviously, if you take, I win your queen. Queen takes c4, knight move. Queen takes d3. I think I'm coming out ahead there. So here I'm going to win your queen, right? I don't know why they did that. I think I'm now ahead of queen. I think I'm now ahead of queen. This seems good. Let's take before the bishop blocks. And I don't know, bishop h3. Okay, and now let's just not flag. And that seems like good things are happening here. I think our first YANYAN Gambit, as my chat has wanted me to play for so long, will be a success. As it seems unlikely I'll get flagged with increment. I've certainly gotten flagged without it. But this is a very, as we wrap up here, this is a very interesting weapon against the Sicilian. Because, like, well, no one knows it. Oh, that Bing scared me. Oh my god, I thought I flagged. That Bing scared me. But very interesting weapon against the Sicilian. So let's have a look here. I received a level 1 hype train emote. Share. Choo-choo. Okay, so the YANYAN Gambit against c3. So there's an abstinence gambit, which is against knight f6, e5. Here you play f4, which is an otherwise very useful pawn to have if you don't take it, because it helps like control your position, have a big center. If you take it, then d4, you can really like attack this knight, right? It is my understanding of the idea here of this gambiting repertoire. If d5, knight a3 takes d3, here's the idea behind it. And I'll link the original YANYAN Gambit. Actually, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. And, here we go. Here we are. Thank you. So here's the YANYAN Gambit that I'm going to link this Lee Chess study. Shout out to Mr. YANYAN himself. But the idea is you've played this move knight a3. Now you play d3. And if they take it, basically, so I'm just following the most common moves here. But you can already see how white's set up pretty well. With queen e2 here, after bishop takes d3, the knight wants to come into b5, which is an idea you see a lot in some lines here. And the c7 square becomes very vulnerable. Long castle. Queen might have some hard times there, but really, like, the worst thing that can happen is, like, you centralize your rooks. So this seems very good. This is a very extensive study covering a lot of very sharp lines. Maybe I'll do more content against this because I don't really have something set in the Gambit repertoire against the Sicilian, so maybe this will be it. We got a good start here. So let's go back to our game. I'm going to play knight f6. Actually, let me contract that. It is more alike. Let me contrast was the word I was looking for. With in the study. So here's in the study, I clicked, oh sorry, no, it was knight f6. Here. Okay, there's a whole chapter dedicated to moves other than e takes d3. Wow, very extensive. So knight f6, bishop f4 was the move. Bishop g4, wow, this is actually main line. If I turn on the engine here, I think black might have been playing some engine recommendations. This is main line. And queen c2 is the recommendation, which makes a lot of sense because you're targeting e4, right? Like threatening to just go d takes e4, and now, right, you want this capture to happen. Takes And so, like, to follow the main line here, you can play f3 to allow yourself to castle like I did in the game. And this is starting to look like more standard compensation. And here black can blunder very badly with, like, knight c6. And, well, I was thinking something like g4. And then bishop takes g6 you can take even for free because of the tempo on the queen. So that's not what I did in the game. I played something spicy, but so it goes from... So queen c2 and queen b3 are both engine approved a little bit, and the top engine move here is very tough. It's e5. It's this counter sacrifice. The point being, after takes, I guess that there's like queen e7, which hits b7 and also now causes pin issues. Oh, and the other issue is you're threatening checkmate. The bishop got distracted from guarding d2. So you're there's a checkmate threat here. Very interesting stuff. So in the game, my opponent plays e takes d3, which is already a mistake. Wow, so you can see... Wow. So if I were prepared and my opponent was unprepared, this would be a huge benefit, because already my strong opponent has made a mistake, and this is plus 0.6, and quite the plus 0.6, because this is a huge value of preparation here. It's not some quiet position. Like, the gap between what you will play and what the engine will play is very large, because this is a crazy position. So I play f3, just to underscore my last point, which is a big blunder. Plus 0.6 to minus 0.7 with f3. Which is a little harsh for 2 question marks, honestly. The best move was queen takes b7, which I didn't love because of queen d5, which is the engine recommendation. Takes. Oh, what I didn't see here was I was seeing my bishop under attack and I can't get back this pawn, but you can take it and bishop e4, which wins the rook here. So, interesting stuff. Wow, there's so much to explore in this line, and it's really interesting. There seems to be no easy way for black to just attain a calm position. So, yeah, gambit on. f3, bishop e6 was played. Engine says bishop d7 was a little bit better. Now after takes, it's equal if bishop d5. That makes sense, because queen b5 check, knight d7, something like this, can defend the pawn. And after some collect over here, maybe black can escape. In the game, my opponent plays queen d5, which allows me the following option. I can go check on b5, and now I can collect this pawn, only that I didn't. Queen takes d3, it says it was better. So, interesting line here. Yeah, so it seems white is better if they can just take here, if they can just get this pawn and this pawn, right? Their position just seems much better. They're better developed and everything, better structure. Their king's going to castle much more easily. So, I had an opportunity to do just that with queen takes d3. Not with bishop takes d3, right? Because there was this nasty move, kind of a6, which makes it hard for me to keep defending the bishop in this situation. I castled. My opponent plays c4, and so it's -2, actually, because I was debating whether these pawns are strong or weak, whether I will be able to win this or not. It seems that the answer is they're strong. So that's kind of a rough situation, because if they're strong, then this is quite the extra pawn that black has. In the game, I got away with it somehow, even though this is -3. So queen b7, I'm attacking the rook. This was their first minor mistake. Better to go knight a5 to open the defense and to add more protection on c4. After which, nothing better than just to retreat, and black's doing all right. But, sharp positions. What can I say? Rook c8, knight b5. We're trying to get in there with knight c7. My opponent continues to do this right, actually. Believe it or not, this position is -2.6, because all black needs to do is actually just sacrifice here. Just sacrifice their exchange, and now they have like this, which is very strong. Maybe g6, bishop h6 check can come, and their position's actually quite nice. They have a very strong pawn for the exchange if they go for this. Interesting. So, all right. Anyway, king d8 was played. Still an advantage for black. I take the bishop. Pawn takes e6, queen a6. So we're attacking c4 here, and then just trying to get rid of this. And this is my opponent's big blunder that decides the game, which is e5. What they needed to do was g5? g5, the point being that the same thing doesn't work because the pawn stays here, allowing for knight d5. Wow. So g5, just anything to get some development here. If I take it, then I can't even understand. But probably just bishop g7. No? Knight in here. Probably attack the bishop and then try and develop here quickly is the best I can make of g5. Just sacrifice the pawn to get these guys out. I mean, that's 8 points of material right there. So a really interesting idea. My opponent plays e5, which was the much worse version of that, because now I can take c4 And if they take my bishop, rook takes d3, there's no pawn on e6 to support knight d5. In fact, there's nothing stopping this, and I win my opponent's queen. e5, take the queen, give a nice check there to get my pieces out that were buried all game. Check, and then I just kind of take everything here. So, fun game in my first Yan Gambit. This will not be the last of it that you see on my channel, but subscribe if this goes on YouTube. There's going to be a lot more to cover in this. Be sure to try it yourself and let me know, and keep chatting it up in the Discord as we explore this stuff together. Subscribe.
William Grave, the Gambit man, takes his seat at the board. e4, e5, knight f3, bishop c5. The Bushgas Gambit on the board. On with the Gambit classes. Hero pawn unlocked.